Yeah. I think 2012 I came down
For that workshop we did?
For the workshop, for the WKC workshop. So down here with the wife to get some help with equipped bench lifting. And so I have 12 questions for Scott. So some of them are quite ridiculous and have absolutely nothing to do with powerlifting. And some of them have a great deal to do with powerlifting.
Let's do it.
All right, so first question, how long have you been coaching, and how do you think you've been able to remain a successful coach for this many years?
Going on 22 years now.
22 years?
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Going on 22 years. And probably the biggest key is keeping my program results driven. Being in the gym, especially nowadays, like I started way before people were taking advantage of the internet and things like that, before there was social media and stuff. So really the only way to get clients was referral-based programming, and that really only came from getting people results, because if you're not getting people results, nobody's gonna stay, nobody's gonna refer anybody. And to this day, some of my longest running clients have been about 9-10 years. So I've had great longevity with a lot of my clients, and I really think it's just being in here and doing the work, man.
Gotcha. Cool. All right. So slightly a programming related theory question. Thoughts or any words on squatting to parallel versus ass to ankles? Yeah, I got him to go. Oh shit!
All right, so
and we'll make it as short as possible.
Yes. What should dictate squat depth? There's a couple different things. Not everybody should stand wide or close. The stance should be made by the person's limb lengths. It should be, you got to do a little work with your client to find what the optimal stance is. But as far as squat depth, I always use the spine as an indicator. So when I'm working with a powerlifter, they only need to break parallel. They need to squat to powerlifting rules. You squat below that, you're giving up weight, and you're giving up weight to your competition. It's about squatting the most at the contest. But the one thing that I look for is maintaining a neutral spine. The minute that I see the tailbone moving, the lumbar spine moving under load, that's it. We're going to start higher than that, and then we're going to work our way back down. From a mobility standpoint, particularly with a lot of my grapplers, my fighters, some of my athletes, we will use full squats. But I usually like to do them Hindu style or body weight style, because then it's really not an issue if there's a little bit of spinal mobility, because there's no compression on the spine.
Gotcha.
But I'm not super, but obviously weightlifters have to do it, because you're catching rock bottom cleans, you're catching snatch rock bottom, power clean that bar up to your belly.
Right.
You got to be able to get down there.
Right.
It's all case specific.
Yeah, I would say.
But if you're not a weightlifter, freaking stupid. So we'll see.
I would say that was the correct answer for sure. All right, totally unrelated gym question, but we already got on the subject while training. Favorite flavor of Oreos?
The Peeps flavor, which are now the marshmallow flavor. It's the 50th edition or something, I don't know, but the purple filled ones.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, we just had them.
Awesome.
They're amazing, awesome. Absolutely amazing.
Lucky Charm Oreos.
All right, so thoughts on, this is something I've been big on for a little while. That's I'd say really upset me in the past like 6 months or year or so. The McFit franchise fitnesses that are just popping up, just everywhere. And if you've got $10,000 or $20,000, you can just buy a franchise, and people are just hopping from just one thing to the next to the next.
You don't see a lot of longevity with those places. For a certain phase of time, it's going to be, like Curves was really big for a while, it's gone. Jazzercise was really big back in the day, it's gone. The problem is anytime you do some sort of franchise, ban, and that's even like, we talk about CrossFit, like one of the reasons many reasons I didn't affiliate with CrossFit, but I would never affiliate with something, because the minute you do, you fly under the flag of that brand. I've always wanted to do my own thing that allows me to evolve my program as I see fit.
Right.
And then you're not stuck under, like, the problem is you're not only the positives, but the negatives of the program too.
Right.
You start seeing a string of injuries in CrossFit. Well, if you're a CrossFit box, you're now associated with bad program. See what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, you're just too limited with what you can do, and it doesn't allow you to evolve your program.
Gotcha. Yeah. Cool. All right. He loves these questions. Flats or heels?
Why is this a question? Heeled shoes are stupid, unless you're a weightlifter.
Okay, so is there a place?
I'm glad you said it. I'm standing behind you.
Yeah, my client Matt walks in his heel shoes.
faster.
As the client walks in with heeled shoes on.
That I told him to get, yeah.
Yeah. So
It depends on the exercise.
So
the reason for a heeled shoe is it shortens the calf and it makes it easier to break parallel on the squat, which if you're power cleaning, power snatching, you're a weightlifter, it's going to make it easier to get down to rock bottom. That's really where the weightlifting shoe came from, was a sport of weightlifting.
Right.
See a lot of value for it in kettlebell sport, obviously, like with the jerk, gives you a forward shin angle, makes the first dip of the jerk a lot easier, plus it's a nice stable platform to lift on. For powerlifting purposes, flats, in my opinion, are the way to go. But if you like squat and heels, I'm going to make fun of it, but the flat, you're only trying to break parallel. You don't need to get as low as a weightlifter.
Right.
So if you can't break parallel in a flat shoe, you need to get some mobility work going on. But if that's, it's personal preference too. I mean, if you like, there's a lot of freaking great squatters that wear them, so who am I to argue, right? But personal preference, I say flats.
Yeah. All right. So every guy that you see with long hair, do you just look at him and be like,
totally jealous because I used to have long hair.
Oh, yeah. So, but do you want them to shave their head? I look at everyone and I'm like, shave your head.
Do whatever you want, man. do whatever makes you happy, man.
All right. Seriously, why do people hate on Westside?
I don't know, man, because I'm not a Westside lifter. I've visited a couple of times. I've done the special strength cert, and I think there's tons and tons of valuable information up there at that gym and from Louie. And the programming always made sense to me. And I think like anybody has the right to have whatever opinion they want. But one, if you've never at least visited there, if you've never read Louie's books, you never listened to his podcast, never listened to his interviews, if you have no basis to form the opinion on, the opinion, in my opinion, has got zero weight. You should go there and experience it for yourself, talk to the man yourself, and at least educate yourself on it. And if you don't like that style of programming, whatever, man, it works for some people. Linear works for some people. Shaco works for people.
Right.
You got to find what works best for you. But the thing about Westside to me is the training. And I asked Louie this when I was visiting one time. I got invited to breakfast, and I said to him, I said, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is my opinion. The training is about knowing the principles of training and how to apply those principles to an individual. It's not a static program. And he said, bingo, 100%. So if people think the Westside program is a static program, it's not.
Right.
There's a lot of people up there doing different things. There's some things that remain the same, like the max effort work, the repeat, all that stuff. But everybody's working on maximizing their strengths and building up their weaknesses up there, and nobody does the same thing. You got to go there and talk to the man yourself. I'm not qualified to speak on it myself, but I just think, the biggest opinions against it I hear are people that have never even made a trip there. So
Exactly. Yeah.
And they're awesome.
Right.
He's a great guy.
Mono or walk it out?
Well, if you walk out squats, you better be unracking your own bar on the bench press.
Solid. Gotcha. Favorite band?
Oh, man.
Oh.
So many genres.
I know.
I love metal, I love punk, I like John Coltrane.
Give me three.
Top three.
Yeah, three.
Social Distortion.
Knew it.
Misfits.
Yep.
It's kind of generic, but, goes back to them. And Anthrax.
I am right here.
Gotcha.
You're not in the band. He will be someday, though. This future rock star right here.
Oh.
Colin Nelson, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice. All right, 2 questions left. On top of people hating on Westside, why do people hate on equipped lifters?
Ever since Raw kind of became the thing, when I started powerlifting, there was really no Raw. It was single ply or multi-ply. Do you want to lift in the USAPL and go drug tested single ply, or do you want to lift in like the APF, untested multi-ply? Those are really the only 2 options. So it wasn't like, if you're going to wear a bench shirt, what kind of bench shirt do you want to wear was really what it was.
Right.
And it's a sport. It's about competition, and it's about getting the most out of the lift. So, as the gear got more extreme, people were mastering the gear and getting more out of it. It required a lot more technicality, it required a lot more time and training and stuff. And I think the Raw boom happened because some people were just sick of 3-hour bench workouts and stuff like that, and they just wanted to see what they could do without the gear, which I respect. I mean, strength is awesome, but equipped, it's got to be looked at as a sport. If you're not competing in powerlifting, in my opinion, you got no business putting on a bench shirt, right?
Right.
because it does inflate your numbers, but no different than a pole inflates somebody's ability to get over a bar. So I look at it like this. We could look at raw lifting like the high jump, and we could look at equipped lifting like pole vaulting. The goal is to get over the bar. One's going to allow you to go higher, but it's a separate event in track and field.
Yeah, it's two separate things.
So I think what happens is mistakenly a lot of times people compare raw to equipped, and it's a bad comparison. You can't even compare raw with reps to raw without reps, because people get a ton out of knee reps.
Yeah,
so
I mean, I have two separate.
Yeah.
I have two separate squat maxes.
Right.
One wrapped, one unwrapped, and I'm not
do what
even
you're
a
going to
fucking
do.
power lifter.
Let other people do what they're going to do, and I think people should spend more time supporting each other in a sport, because it's a small sport as it is. Instead of hating on how somebody lifts, which raw is inferior to equipped lifting, but instead of hating on how somebody lifts, I mean, support each other, man. Because you're talking about a cult sport that nobody gives a shit about except for the people that do it. So
right.
Powerlifters should come together and make the sport awesome.
Right. All right, last question.
Yep.
Is sumo cheating?
No.
Done. The authority said it.
So if sumo's cheating, then Ed Cohn's 901 deadlift at 220, that was a record that stood for 26 years, doesn't count. You know, all these people out here talking about how bad sumo is forget that the greatest power lifter in the history of the sport pulled his 901 to 220 sumo.
Absolutely.
Now he's a little bit narrower, but he's still between the legs, still sumo stance.
Right.
You know? So again, find out what works best for you and do it. It's within the rules of the sport, so how's it cheating?
Right.
You know, one might argue that straps is cheating, but strongmen, they're allowed to use straps. So I mean, if you do a strongman rules deadlift, why wouldn't you use straps?
Right.
Right?
Yeah. That's it. All right, man.
Well,
thanks, Scott.
It's 2019. We pull sumo now. That's a Westside hashtag. So.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, brother.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, not a
Thanks
problem. That's it, guys.
God.
Got me?
Yeah.
Yeah? Are you sure?
How's the glare on my head? Is it too much?
I mean, between the three of you in here.
We'd look like male genitalia.